Good afternoon, it's 1:30. I'm Josh Cole and these are your Solent Sports News headlines. Breaking news from the EFL Championship, Roy Hodgson has been announced as caretaker manager of Bristol City. The 78-year-old returns to the Championship 44 years after his previous spell with the club. Former City manager Gerhard Struber has been relieved of his duties after a poor run of form. Hodgson's first game will be at the Valley against Charlton on Friday the 3rd of April, a team he hasn't faced in 50 years of management. 50 years on since Southampton's only FA Cup trophy, St Mary's will host a Legends match tomorrow. Southampton beat Man United 1-0 in 1976 to lift the cup, and the two teams meet again with a host of idols putting their boots back on. The likes of Matt Le Tissier, Ricky Lambert and Victor Wanyama will return to St Mary's for the Saints, while the Red Devils will be captained by current manager Michael Carrick, with Dimitar Berbatov and Antonio Valencia also featuring. Tonight at Wembley, Ben White is in the squad to play Uruguay. The Arsenal defender left the 2022 World Cup early due to personal reasons and declined an international call-up 2 years later from Gareth Southgate. Thomas Tuchel says White was desperate to play and that he liked the defender's attitude.
Once I asked Ben if he would be ready to play for me and for England, he straight away, without hesitation, said he would love that and he would love to come back, and is desperate to come back when the chance opened up for him.
Northern Ireland manager Michael O'Neill has committed his future to the national team. Italy ended their World Cup hopes with a 2-0 victory against O'Neill's side. Despite managing Blackburn Rovers until the end of the season, O'Neill intends to see out his contract as Northern Ireland boss.
As things stand, I will manage the game on Tuesday night. I will manage the remaining 7 games for Blackburn Rovers, but my contract is still with the IFA. I'm contracted to 2028, and after Blackburn Rovers, I'll revert back to the status quo, which is the national team manager.
2 of Saints' current squad were involved in a heartbreaking defeat. Ryan Manning, Finn Azaz and Ireland's hopes of qualifying for the World Cup were shattered by the Czech Republic. Ireland were 2-0 up, however the game ended 2-2 after extra time and went to penalties. Azaz was one of the 2 Irish players to miss their penalty kicks to send the boys in green home. Olivier Giroud's all-time goal-scoring record for France is under threat. Giroud has scored 57 goals and Kylian Mbappe is now 1 away from equalling Giroud after scoring in a 2-1 win against Brazil. France play Colombia on Sunday, and this could be the game that Mbappe becomes the all-time leading French goalscorer. Hampshire Cricket's Sonny Baker has been developing his bowling technique throughout his career. But how has he trained to become one of the fastest bowlers in the country?
I'd always had pace, don't get me wrong, whether that's genetically or what that is, but yeah, could throw a javelin decent distance and had pace when I played, but I think from the progression of where I'd really put my foot down would have been probably 16, 17, where I'd done an extensive amount of work with Andrew Griffiths at Somerset on my wrist position, where he basically tried to get me to bowl off spin with my wrist.
Parkinson's disease is a condition that can appear way before you realise, and a diagnosis can appear as quite a shock. Here's a preview of what's to come later.
I was going to see a neurologist, not really thinking anything of it. And within about 10 minutes I was told there was either a stroke or Parkinson's disease, but more likely Parkinson's. So that was a bit of a shock.
105.72, 108.58 and 106.36. Those were Luke Littler's averages as he went on to win night 8 of the Darts Premier League. He beat Michael van Gerwen in the final 6-4 and hit 2 170 checkouts on his way to victory. With this nightly win, Littler now takes top spot from Johnny Clayton and leads the table heading into next Thursday and night 9 in Manchester. Fly fishing is often neglected as a sport and labelled as a hobby instead. Fishing may also be more simple than you think. Here's a preview of the full story coming at 3:30.
So fly fishing, you're not fishing with bait. You're fishing with an artificial fly which is made of feathers and bits of fur. It's not actually a food item, it's tied to imitate a natural insect or a tiny fish. So fly fishing was invented to make catching fish more difficult. Okay, if you want to catch a fish, Put a dirty, great big worm in front of it and it will eat it. Fly fishing is a great kind of process because your development goes forever. You know, after the first day you start to the day you finish, you will never stop learning as you go through.
The International Olympic Committee have confirmed a ruling for the 2028 LA Olympics. In the women's category of Olympic sports, eligibility will be determined by a once-in-a-lifetime gender test. This will now prevent transgender women and those with differences in sexual development who have gone through male puberty from competing. Is professional wrestling as painful as it seems on TV? Our reporter Ethan Cook went to see for himself, and here's a preview of what's to come later.
It's coming towards the end of my time now where I've now started thinking about retiring and bringing the next bunch of students through to come onto my show. So also in Power Wrestling and the SWF Wrestling UK, which is a busy company in the UK. So we've got a platform for students to make it to live shows in front of live crowds. Now, with everything, absolutely everything we can offer here. We've got a ladder from small shows to arena shows. We can absolutely, everyone has got a chance.
In boxing, heavyweight wonderkid Moses Atama faces Jermaine Franklin this weekend. Franklin has only lost twice to Dillian White and Anthony Joshua in 26 fights. At just 21 years of age, Atama is 13-0 with 11 knockouts and has his toughest test of his career on the weekend.
There's questions that my team want to know about me. There's questions that I want to know about myself, and I'm sure that there's a lot of questions that the fan wants to know about me as well. So I feel like Jermaine Franklin is the final piece of the puzzle. So when I get asked about other fighters, that's not going to happen if I don't get through Jermaine Franklin.
Former UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya returns to the octagon to face Joe Pyfer in Seattle. Adesanya is on a 3-fight skid since losing the middleweight belt and will be looking to get back into the win column this weekend. UFC veteran Michael Chiesa is also on the card, announcing it will be his final fight of his career. Want to know the best way to train your biceps? Well, our reporter Piran Phillips met Velu Imamen, who is studying bicep growth and strength.
John Cooper is one of Velu's test subjects. He's training his left arm by doing only a 1-rep max 3 times a week, which is shown as strength training in Velu's study. But on John's right arm, he's training hypertrophy. So he's doing 8 to 12 reps 4 times in each session, 3 times a week.
That's all from us for now. Check out our website, Solent Sports News, for more updates. We'll be back at 3:30 with the full stories. See you soon.